Okay, right. I thought, as I've had it laying around for years and years and years, I'd fit a remote oil filter for the gearbox. I've got the oil cooler, which is working nicely. So I've now plumbed in an oil filter. Looks a bit better. I'm sitting in the sidecar, so now the oil will come, where is it? From that AN fitting. Let's move my light. From that AN fitting down there, it comes along from a, I can't see it. Where am I looking? There's a brass 90-degree union that goes, I think it goes from 8 to, no, it's an 8 to 8 up the clear pipe into the oil pump, out the oil pump. I'm going to do away with these clear pipes. At the moment they're not getting hard, they're not brittle, they're not sort of, because the oil in the gearbox doesn't get that hot. The oil cooler, when I had that clear bit of pipe on this one, it burst on me, but it was my own fault because it's not rated for hot oil, whereas this stuff is this stuff is yeah, that's it, J30R6, so it's rated for hot oil. So that's what all of these, all the black pipes are now J30R6. So on my next oil change I'll be getting rid of these clear pipes into the oil cooler. It sits between the sidecar, it sits on Munson rings on the sidecar stay bar, and then it comes out of there. I've had to bend a bit of 90-degree or 180 copper pipe, so it doesn't rub on anything, it's not chafing anywhere, into the oil cooler, which is the outer ring, and then it goes round the filter from the outside out through the middle of the filter, out from the middle of this, the middle of the casting, and back into, I'm trying to use the light in one end and the bloody phone in the other, there we go, into the AN fitting to the top of the gearbox. The oil, when it goes in the top of the gearbox, it I've got it positioned so that the flow of oil splashes onto the gears at the top that the kickstart meshes on, so it doesn't, the cold oil doesn't sort of plop straight to the bottom and being cold stay there and just sort of come straight back out again. So it gets sort of whizzed around a bit, so it gets mixed with the hot, and then the hot will come out and it won't be the cold coming straight back out. I've not got the kickstart on it at the moment. I put a longer fourth gear in the gearbox a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that's all a bit cracked, isn't it? Look at that. I'll have to change that. Focus. Yeah, I put a longer fourth in it and solo gearing in the diff. The solo gearing in the diff made it so that I had to slip the clutch pulling away until I was, you know, quite up to speed in that gear. And that was without anybody in the sidecar or any weight in the sidecar of any description. So I thought, for the sake of the clutch and the drive, the drive on these is a, see that chrome ring, there's a, that little, what am I doing with this torch, you idiot? There you go. That rubber donut will take a bit of a beating. You can get neoprene ones of those now, so I might get a neoprene one if that starts to show signs of breaking up. And also with the longer fourth, I couldn't put it into fourth anything below sort of 50. So I've put the sidecar gearing back in the diff. I've left the kickstart off because the thread wasn't that happy on that, the little flat pin that goes against this through the sidecar idiot, through the kickstart, and it mates up against that. It's flat on one side, so the thread was a bit manky. So I've got another bolt now, and if it does, I don't think it will fail on this filter, but if it does, I'll just keep it in the sidecar with a bolt in my toolbox, so if I need it I can just bolt it on, kick it over, take it off. Excuse me. This air filter is a bit of a mashup. This is standard BMW, that's standard BMW. The rubber is a standard BMW, but this is the original inlet tube for the Dnepr. This is quite a small bore in there, so I've cut the end of that off just to make up the gap. It's been jet washed, not by me, but when the oil cooler on the engine blew, it covered the whole bike, this side of the bike in engine oil. And it was a nice hot day, so the oil was thin and it just went everywhere. These oil pumps are amazing, they really do get some pressure behind them. So I said to the chap down the local car wash, I just want it washed with a hose. I think he's Lithuanian or something, he didn't understand me, so he blasted it with a jet wash, and I thought, well, if it starts after that, I think he jet washed it twice, and they're really good, they get right in there. And there was no water in the carbs, there's no water in the airbox. It's got two little drain holes where this cap fits, you can't see it, but at the bottom there's like a little notch cut out on each of these. No, there isn't. It's on the body, this cylindrical body. Underneath there's two little slots, one at each end, that these caps don't quite cover. So if any water gets in, it'll just sort of run round and plop out the bottom. I've got two holes in the back. There's one there, and there's one there, two holes. Originally I was going to have the engine breather it's on a pipe with a Y piece that goes into the airbox, so that it recirculates all the crankcase fumes and it burns them. I didn't like that idea anyway. It's a disgusting idea, all that oil and shit going back through your engine. You can't see it this side, but it does cough out a bit of oily, residuey, smoky sort of gubbins. So I might extend that pipe to underneath the gearbox, and I was going to have the top pipes going in these two holes with grommets, but now, because this is a small air filter, I've left the holes at the back so it can draw in more air. It gets filtered before it comes out the sides. I might take it to HM Racing. They're in Edenbridge. They were in Rootham at one point, and when I had a Hayabusa, I put in a 4-into-1 on it, junked the original 4-into-2, and they had two catalysts, one each side, and they weighed an absolute bloody bomb. Sapped loads of power out of it. So, long story short, titanium 4-into-1, took it to HM. He remapped the injection and the timing, and I used to go to Broadstairs a lot with my wife in the school holidays and my daughter, and we'd fill up with petrol here. By the time I got to the M2, I'd used half a tank. Got to Broadstairs was a full tank, and then once I had the 4:1 and it was remapped, I could do Broadstairs and back on a full tank, so it halved the fuel consumption. Which just goes to show what cats do. They just bloody murder your fuel consumption and bloody things. So I'm going to take it down there and see. I know it's on a rolling road, and I really don't use more than a third throttle on this, even at sort of 60 miles an hour. And just to see if they can have a look at the carbs setup. Because it's a homemade exhaust, it's a mishmash of a mongrelly inlet and a exhaust system. So see if it needs I don't mind if it runs rich, which I don't think it is, but I really don't want it running lean, because all I want is a hole in the bloody piston. So, and I've checked the plugs a few times, and they're not pale. They're a nice colour. So that's that. What else? What else? Oh God, I need to get out of here. What else have I done? Oh, and he's out. That's about it. Recently, just stuck that on. It's tucked out the way. I like the idea of this as well, because it doesn't hurt to have an oil filter everywhere, and now there's a little bit more oil in the gearbox, or in the system, the gearbox system, and that'll keep it cooler as well. This is the little switch for the fuel pump, and I will get the gearbox warm before I turn it on, because now it's pushing it through a filter as well. It's all right for the cooler, there's no problem, but now it's got a filter in it. I'll get the oil warm before I turn the switch. I've only got to reach behind me and flick that little switch down. Yeah, that's about it. That is about it. What else? Yeah, so sidecar gearing in that now. Now that it's starting to sort of come together and work, I'm going to redo the wiring, because it's scruffy, especially under the head. That is my biggest bugbear, is the squeeze through here. Yeah. The wiring underneath the headlamp. Oh God, it's just so horrid. I just hate it so much. I want to get those. I've got these waterproof connections, and I'll extend all the wiring and stick those connections under the tank. There's Eric. Got a bit wet the other day. Doesn't mind. Got an LED light on the. That is so bloody bright. It was listed as a daytime running light, but my God, I've had to angle it down, because it's. At least I can't say I didn't see ya. Didn't see ya. No, you didn't see me because you weren't looking. But that's about it. Any comments or questions, put them below, please, and I shall answer every single one. Not that I ever get any. I've had a few. I've taken the jerry can holder off, because it was. I don't use the jerry can. Where is it? Sitting there. Hello. If I go on a long trip, which I doubt very often, but I'll just bolt it back on, stick the jerry can on it, and that's about it. I'll stick another video up soon if I do something else. Thank you very much. Goodbye.